saying that there was no need for political parties to be funded that much money. And we know within the country, whereby we know some prominent families, including philanthropists, they continue to actually be at the forefront of funding some of the political parties within the country. The time right now, it is 21 minutes. And she is from the Tlokwe Heritage Institute. And they're going to be telling us about the history. How are they planning now? I know that there's some projects that there will be happening whereby they are trying to actually make sure that there is the safeguarding of the history.
Ours is just to make sure that we restore our history, Jagaba Achiba Tlokwe and Potchefstroom as a whole, and to make sure that there is that memory bank that they can go into and draw any information by Batlang, not only our role models within our community that are making impact. So it's very important that we also make sure that history abona doesn't fade while they are alive, and also those who have passed on.
If you were to look into now, the year is 2025, and we know that throughout there's no figures who had an impact. Tlokwe.
I wouldn't say it has been preserved, but I would say we have seen people from Tlokwe shining. You know, it just become a rainbow, then it passes. And the question, it says, what happens to that? Because it becomes so significant that if it could have been preserved, its own death. So I want to say it has not been preserved, and we and you, we can agree there have been significant things that happened.
Yes.
And if we were to say some, I might not know them, that you know them, that if they were preserved somewhere, we would just go to that bank and be able to can draw that.
Currently, as we speak, is there a place that where one can go and say, I just want to learn a little bit about the town or the place, and I'm talking specifically Tlokwe. Is there such a place where one can go and say, I just want to know a little bit more about the people and the figures who were there?
We did have, I would say, an exhibition where we were actually doing the same of where are we coming from. Areas like Makweteni, that's where they were highlighted. There were pictures, great guys who were there and were very much significant. We have, as Tlokwe Heritage, we do have that history, and we have compiled it. That is why we are saying we want to archive it so that our kids, when they come, they are able to can go in and they are able to can read about it. But like I indicated before, that we are in an era where technology has taken the space, and now if you have preserved this in a book for for almost quite a number of years, it is there. So that's why we are looking at funding and also partnering with obviously companies that could assist us in that regard.
Currently now, as the Tlokwe Heritage Institute, you guys are trying new things now. Are you now able to tell us what is it that the organization now plans to do regarding this preservation of the history? Are you able to take us through that?
In things we have played quite roles, whether in sports, the impact that is going, whether it's in politics, even the youth. And we are not only speaking about those who have passed on, but we are also saying let's even recognize those who are still alive. So what we then felt as Tlokwe Heritage, that can we also try to make sure that the very same people, we start to get this information, because it is going to be a historical information in the future. And what we are planning to do, we have planned that we are not starting now. We've got historical period that those who passed on, they were there, and we're starting from there. But you must understand that some of these icons, they passed away. So
Yes.
how we are going to get this information, we will have to interact with their families. To get that, we have to go to archives and read about, if I may quote, you have your people like Bo Rex Rabanye, they are no more, but you're banking on going to their family and also where they were involved, as musician. That is where you could draw info. But then you take for Prof Mokobo, he's still alive. So you
From Potchefstroom, right here,
that's
yeah.
big. We don't want to lose such history. So we are saying these are the people that we would really want to see, that when they are no more or when they are still alive, we would really want to acknowledge and reward them. But how we are going to do, we are going to, apply your qualitative study, sort of maybe both mixed method, where you are using your quantitative way of doing information that is already there in the library and you're reading, you can get it, but also going qualitative in terms of using your interviews.
Yes.
You interview them, and then you interview family members that are there. You also interview the space that they find themselves playing in. Sort of interview, and it's best when these interviews are recorded. So that's where we felt that it's important that we work together with Ahanang, so that we are able to, these interviews are recorded, and these interviews will be played when we will be acknowledging, we will be having our Heritage Month, which it is September.
Yeah.
So we are also planning our pledge to say we are launching this project of now archiving, recognizing, and making sure that at least we're saying, because we want to run it in a 12 months, where at least in each month we are recognizing one of our icon. As in, for now, I'm not going to
don't spoil
it and everybody, this is the plan. And we then said it's very important that obviously we must have an instrument of how do you do that. What is it that one would ask for, maybe exactly what is it that you are looking for. But like I said, we're looking at, they don't even know who I'm talking about. Academia and education, sports, arts and culture. We've got, if I may quote on sports, Ezekiel Cyprian did put us on a map, we've got your activism, human rights, entrepreneurship, business, public service. We've got your medicine and other, and just also maybe on the entrepreneurship or business or entertainment. We've got our Boitumelo Tulo. So those are, but that's not only that. I'm just making examples. But once we're looking at all these fields, because we've got people who have played this, then we have this implemented, this
plan to say our starting point within this documentation will be from which year to what year?
Like I said, that when I said we are going to use both methods, like drawing from information that is already there. Why I would say that your quantitative method, because we are looking from 1950 to 1960. Me and you sitting here, those people are no more there. So how are you? We try to get so much info from them. Then from there, we will you will then go to your 1970 and also the beginning of 90. You all know at that time there are many things that were happening, especially our political landscape was quite not very good, and also the sports and ultra, that will be looking, and that it's easy because at least you still find people who played quite roles at that time. You are able to can get them info through interviews. So this is how it's going 2000 to 2020. And you just ask a very important question to say, in 2025, were there any significant things that happened? Yes, there were. So we might have also to also try to include, some of these in the last part as we are doing our interviews. Yes, but we are looking at this historic period.
I hear you mention all of these periods within history.
Yes.
I just want to ask you, I'm sure this is a personal question, Jorge, among all of the city or the town that we now live in, period we shabileng, Jorge, but during this period, this one, it did shape Jorge, where Tlokwe was going.
Obviously, I will go to a period that I've got vivid memories of.
Mm.
For me, I would say the 1970 and to your 1990 to the,
Mm.
just I think on your 1970 I was quite very young. Only we were affected by the uprising that took over South Africa,
Yes.
but also one of the significant things that happened, we refused to be part of the Bantustan.
Mm.
It
Mm.
did shape us because you find it now that we are living amongst us. We've got that one. It's not like because that's what
Mm.
Mangope wanted it to happen, but it didn't happen because we fought that, we resisted against that. And if you go to the 80s, you know what happened. The situation was volatile. I'm proud to say that most of people who were shaped by these eras, if you look around our country, some of them they are holding prominent position. Take your the CEO of South African Airways, Dr. Lamola. I
Mm.
mean now he's professor. He was also that era. So they shaped us, and where we are now, I want to say yes, things have evolved. You know, our youth, they are not. It was quite a pivotal role and a pivotal time, and it does shape who we are, and even the name itself.
Mm.
You know, um, it's
Yeah, it was
it's in
that
the make.
period. Yeah, and one thing I grew up also. I learned it throughout some my time also. And the sports culture,
Mm, mm,
specifically the
mm.
sports culture more
Not
Tlokwe.
local.
As I hear, apparently sports played a very pivotal role back in the day. And most importantly, when it comes to the teams and the people who led those teams at that time. Has it been decided as of yet, Hore, which
One thing that I can tell you, we are obviously looking at our icons who played, and we are recognizing that we will be also you find your George Mkari. I think
Mm,
those are the people that we really want to get that historic info, and they really put us, and not only sports, music,
mm,
music, and really want to preserve that, and his dance. I think we will be doing an injustice to our history as Tlokwe.
mm,
So yeah, that's
mm.
why and Rex Rabanya. If you play that song now,
Yeah,
any
it is
song yaka
still
Rex
the one,
Rabanya,
yeah.
we all stand up, whether you're in a wedding or
Mm,
So that's why I say it. That those eras did shape our town.
mm. The time it is just now about 20 minutes before the hour of 8 o'clock. You're still listening to Akanya FM 90.0 megahertz. And the show's still on. This is Ithuteng, the current affairs show with me, Kamogelo. Be launched as well by the Institute. And this is, of course, to preserve the history of Tlokwe. There were timelines that were given. I heard the 1950s. Throughout those timelines to recent, whether it is within politics, whether it's within sports, arts and culture as well, and others, even with academia. Those are the people or individuals who have shaped Tlokwe to be what it is. They will be documented. And now, when it comes to the preservation of history, you did mention Jorge, certain individuals have already passed on. But again, in terms across the way, in trying to find some of the individuals or the history about them.
Yes, they were in such that you wouldn't get people that you would really get information. If you really want info about a person, the immediate family, these are the people that you'd like to hear from them,
Mm, mm,
because what you want to you also want to know, how was this person out of, let's take politics as an example. How is this person when he's just home? You want to get that to say,
mm,
how did he relate to the kids and everything. But because most of you find, like from the 90s, that era, it was during apartheid changes that we got. And as much as some of the media that would rely on really reading from them and to get this info. It was distorted. I mean, some of them, they will write what they want to write about us.
Yes, yes.
So we're saying you cannot write about us when we are here. So those were the child. You not even get them because they were displaced also. I mean, if you know our history, what happened. I mean, we displaced to come.
The day, and one thing I've heard as well, the gate. That was that was situated just right here at the police station. Just talking about that. I just want to get the great sense how now when it comes to such information, that gate or the information about, is it still available whereby one can actually get to understand what really was that?
Yes, that information is available. I know in one of our documents we did document that, and everything that has to start with either we will start at the gate or Davos Corner until there. So the gate, we do have some pictures and we have a history around that. So if you want more, obviously, that's what we are saying. Once we have banked one memory, it will be easy for us to go there and say, I really want to read about this.
With this new project, let's just now come to understand, what is it really that you want, especially the youth or the people who would be living outside of Potch, to really understand with the documentation?
We need to be proud of our own. That's the first thing. We want to reward these people for being selfless. We want to honor the impact that they have done and that they are still doing. And secondly, these people, because of the lives that they are living, they are adding value, not only to themselves, but to also the community. And living that, it makes them role model. Now, as they are role model, it's easy for them to go and read more, to say, what I want to know more about Boitumelo Tulu, because I really look up to her, and also her being still alive, knowing that in my town I am recognized. I think she will pride herself about Tlokwe, to say, I come from there, I've been rewarded when she or he's no more there. I know that when I'm not there, my family, my kids will be able to can read about me. But we're not saying only the family. We are saying the entire community and the entire South Africa as large. If they want this, that is what we want to achieve.
Yeah. I want to ask you this, just to go a little bit out of what we are going. I just want to ask you this question. You go to town, and then you find within the time here, the struggle. Some individuals played sports coming from this town. Why don't we have any sort of thing that says, this is the individual, a little statue when you go to town, this individual, his name is this and this and that, and this is what they've done. Why don't we have just not even one statue of one, it's either a struggle stalwart or somebody who was in the arts? Why don't we have such?
We don't have money for us to build that. It will call for lots and lots of funds, right? But if a good Samaritan is listening and he says, here is an organization that's doing a wonderful job, and here is an idea that has been splashed, to say, we would really want to see something like that, we are up for that, to say this, because when you want to remember people, if you want to statue them, that will be actually the best, so that we see this every day. But if you're looking at, should it happen, because you have seen the Afrikaner, what they do during the war, those graves they've got, and that is it's for them, it is also to say we don't want to forget these people, but at the same time it also contributed to tourism that.
Yes, it is.
So we would also want to see where we'll have names of these people somewhere, to say when people visit us, they are able to can say, oh,
that are within the arts. Is there individuals that you would say more we have them and they are representing us?
Maybe remember I said I would not want to divulge much, ne?
Okay.
But you have your wal and the wallet. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
we all know, like your they. For me, I would say yes, they represent us. Once they start to, once you see. I just that I've forgotten some, but once you start to see this person, say, I also bought you know, and you feel good when you see these people on the big screen, whether you know them or what.
Yeah.
So these are the people that would want to, and also you look at we know there's a lady who's called Zandi. I don't just know his last name. She used to sing for Mzwakhe Mbuli. I mean, she's from here, you know, and probably where she's seated, she does not even know that we recognize her. But she had that this launch is not only us as Tlokwe Heritage. We are also with Ahanang FM, but like you said, all that we are saying, we will be launching this project of to saying us as Tlokwe Heritage Institute. Here we are busy with our work of archiving our heritage. We have started on a project of making sure that we establish a library, and we want to have that memory bank of our black historian, you know, and that is basically people already know about our existence now. We have done quite a number of events, you know, just for us to make people aware and advocate what we're dealing with. So on that day, details as into the whole program of how it's going to outline, we will come back to radio and give people. But we are just saying, here we are coming with this big thing. So people should not now be shocked when we start coming to them, interviewing them. And maybe we must also make this very to archive your history and put it. And we are not going to take this and sell it anyway. We are just saying we are preserving this. So we would not have, if they were to charge us for this interview, we don't have money. You know, we really don't have money. We are banking on getting assistance from, you know, any stakeholder or any funder that might see to say just to do, because it really needs money, you know, to do interviews, to go to people, petrol, drive, because some are far that we have to go and do that. Some we might have to do those who are no more there. If I were to speak to maybe a family member that happened to be in there,
Be involved in this? Have they ever, or are you guys considering bringing them on board for such a project?
because we were still trying to first line our relationship with Ahanang, which it's done, and now we are at a stage where we are speaking to different departments, which cannot divulge that because you know, when we are still talking to people, they would not want. But we have not even seen this letter that is being said in radio, so we don't want to shoot ourselves. The next thing people say, no, we have heard about
Visuals. I understand how you guys are trying to interview those who made a huge difference, né? But at the same time, there were others who also played a significant role at the same time. And I'm talking now about being fair, about trying to preserve the history. There were people who were called Dimpimpi at the time. That's what they used to call them. What about them? Or is it only the ones who fought for the struggle?
we don't say if I think
Secondly,
secondly they must have overcome any adversity. My emo and adversity, but they happen to rise beyond that, despite whatever where they were. You know, that is the criteria we're looking at. I spoke about value, how they inspire that within us, and also, yeah, that's, and also the, you know, the role within the cultural or any social upliftment. He's being celebrated. Why? Because Orekisa the drugs, is that ethical? No, we cannot want to reward. So that's very important that we look at that sense of morality also, that it's you know, and also is there also, we're looking at the information that will be much available to say, do we get any information? Because somebody say, like you're saying, Bimbi. But nah, what information you want to give us, that? Yeah. So I personally, I would never be part of that. I would really have organization.
There's one sports legend. Yeah, I think is it who married in Porch? He's a sports legend. Is it Ivan? Is it not Ivan Koza, man? Can't say Ivan Koza. Jomo Cosmos or Jomo Sono, right? He apparently did marry in Porch. Bucks, can you help me with that?
No.
Because of the team was losing at the time, and apparently it happened in Porch. That because of I'm asking you that question because of when it comes now to the verification of the information. You know, you might find whether the person had already passed on, ne? And then there's now somebody demokrang at the time or logomo interviewing to ask those questions. The verification now of the information from this individual, how will it happen?
Like we said, we're banking on information that is already there. What we are saying now, remember, we are just saying the only information. From that information, we must research further. And I've made it to say we might not even, that's where we must verify this info, right? Once we verify it, if interview are happening, because this would then be your quantitative data, that is information that is already there. But if we're getting people that we could interview and really get the quality of this information, then that's where we archive and we recognize this. But as in for now, I don't even know him. But maybe your listeners might be saying, no, let's assist you. And we know.
Now, should the community really care about this project?
No, definitely the community, they will care, and they care. Nothing about us without us. Yeah. I think I'm taking from that. I mean, if you... And why I say the community would care, if we come with such a project, we acknowledge one of our own. We are setting a precedent to those how we are most parent. Hey, we today. You know, when our kids go and play soccer and they know that we are doing this thing, they will say, I wish Lena Garangatsonale. There are great people who came from here. Music. I wish. So they start to look after people that they know, that they read about. Because our kids, they emulate people that are far. We're not saying that. But let us start home. So I'm saying, now I'm just going to wake up and make sure that I go around and clean the yards of people, because especially maybe the grannies or whatever. That alone, that's being selfless. That's just doing things out of the love of it, making sure that you reach out to people because they are disadvantaged from where they are now. They cannot do it because they are old. Give recognition.
So what legacy do you want this project to leave? I mean, maybe within 10 years, 20 years to come.
We're saying we want this to make sure our people perish because of lack of knowledge. But if you draw information from one of your own, there will be continuity. So we're leaving a legacy to say there were mothers and fathers who really cared for us as the D generation, that they felt that it's important that they must know about us. And this is what happened. Yes, times would have changed at that time. But when they make research, that will be there. You know, our research now is being done in our own language. So they will be able to can use this as part of their studies. Yes.
So what languages will be used to archive these?
Let's say for now, we'll use English, right? But whoever who feels that so easy, it's unfortunate that people who are championing this, I'm putting myself on the block. Yes, we are technologically.
I understand. I can understand without you even saying.
But that doesn't mean that we are not acknowledged to say we are living in we're saying it's for IR. Go to other countries, they are already moving at the 6 industrial,
Yes.
at the
Yeah.
6G and everything. But yes, obviously, you work with us. When we come to your houses, please open your doors for us. Please let there be that good relationship. Let there be cooperation and understanding when we ask questions. We are not doing this for self-enrichment. We are doing this for you so that kamoso ha bana ba re re batla go itse ka koko or ka oupa. Then so we are really asking for full cooperation from them, and re berekisane mabogo dinku a thebana sa re yalo Setswana.
Yes. So where do they find you?
At the moment, actually, yesterday I know that today we were finalizing our offers, but I have not met with the executive because we have a meeting on Monday. But very soon we will be having an offers, but they could find us. I can share my numbers if there's anything, but we will also maybe give the office address and the numbers where the committee will now not spoken to one of our executive. But my number is 072 433 5333. That's my number. I'll only give mine because normally we give mine and Ntate Gwili.
But now you can repeat it again.
It's 072 433 5333. Yes, they can call me on that number, and then they can also, if we do have a Facebook page, and they can also check my account on. That's why I just said, remember also in line with heritage. So we might go for maybe look at the I know somewhere. Let me just check on my calendar.
Yes. And just as this happens as well, while you are going through to look for that more information, please do remember, Hore, I was also the one part of this history start. I was the one who was there at the initial start of the history. Maybe, Linda, you should be putting me there on the face of this project to say that he was the first to start this, to say, Hore, this is happening. He broke. Okay.
Of September. That's when we want to launch it.
Not yet,
yeah. So that is a tentative date. But as in confirmed to, but this is the date that we earmarked as the launch. Should there be any changes to that, we'll come to radio and but because on 24 it is Heritage Day. Just a day after my birthday.
All right, that is great news. Mrs. Dlamini, we thank you so much for your time this evening to tell us about this upcoming projects that to take place to actually preserve the history in Leone right here. More Tlokwe. We have a rich history.
Every month, at least, they will have the joy of hearing one of their own mo ahanang. Should it be through recording, interviews, but they will get that. We really promise that we will deliver on that one.
All right.
Thank you very much.
So much. All right. Our time is just now about 9 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock.